Lisa, all yours. Hi everyone. This mic actually doesn't work for here, but there are people live streaming on YouTube. So thanks for those that are joining in. So it's going to sound a bit weird holding mic and not having any sound, but I'm Lisa. I am a passionate sailor and I'm so excited to have some awesome rock stars from SailGP here, but also to have all of you here from SailGP Inspire to We Can Foil, Canada's SailGP foiling pathway program. So what a great spot to have breakfast with some rockstar athletes. We will get underway pretty quickly, but I will give you a little spiel on all the athletes that are here today. First up, we have Lorraine Matrau from Switzerland. Lorraine has an impressive and diverse resume that includes winning the 2021 Pro Sailing Tour on board an Ocean 50, winning a coastal race during the Tour de Bretagne on a Figaro, as well as a two-time top amateur ranking at the Tour de France à la voile with the CER. She also sailed with the Swiss Foiling Academy at 2 events on the GC32 Racing Tour as flight controller. Ran also is a pretty good grinder on the F50, I hear, and a great strategist as well. From the Denmark, oh yep, you can come on up, Lorraine, and I'll introduce Katja from the Denmark SailGP team. Katja's list of accolades is nothing short of impressive, with numerous national and international titles under her belt, including European and World Champion. Katja made her name racing the 49er FX, taking home a bronze medal from the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. And finally, we have Canada's very own Annie Hager, who joined the Canadian crew on board the F50 this season. After being named US Sailor of the Year in 2015, Annie competed at the 2016 Olympics in Rio in the 470 class. She's a 6-time national champion, passionate outdoor athlete, and includes in skiing, mountain biking, and wing foiling. And she's pretty busy as an entrepreneur and as a mum as well. Together, these incredible athletes represent the epitome of talent, dedication, and sportsmanship in sailing. I'm so stoked they could spend our morning with us. And we have a bonus athlete here, Tash Bryant from the Australian SailGP team. Tash obviously winning last season with the team. She's an epic foiler. She's also doing the Women's America's Cup, and she's an amazing sailor. So make sure you hang around after to have a chat to Tash. But I'll get the 3 other sailors to join me up here. So I have a long list of questions that were submitted, but I think we'll just have a little bit of a chat about all the things to do with your journey into professional sailing. I mean, a lot of us see the highlights, we see the podiums, we see the celebrations. We don't always get to see the challenges and what happens behind closed doors. So I'm going to hit you with the hard one first, Annie. I guess you've achieved so much in your sailing career, but I guess for you, what have been some of the biggest challenges throughout your career, and how did you overcome them?
Well, it's a great question. I did not overcome them gracefully, I'll tell you that. I would say the biggest challenge that I faced was actually at the games itself. My sailing partner and I, Brianna, were wearing bibs the entire time, meaning we were in the top 3 throughout the entire regatta. Heading into the medal race, we were in second, and essentially came down to last beat, didn't execute our game plan, and we ended up off the podium. And it's really hard when you put 4 years, you're singularly focused for 4 years with a single goal for us, which was getting on the podium, and to not achieve that was, it was heartbreaking to the point that I actually quit sailing for a very long time. And I wish I had a little bit better mental fortitude, but it completely broke me, to be honest. But in terms of how I overcame that, I really tried to reconnect with the love of the sport, of why I initially got into it in the first place, being, the core love of being out on the water, facing Mother Nature, trying to sail the perfect race, because as we know, the Mother Nature can kind of dictate what you do. So for me, reconnecting with the love of the sport, finding fun in going fast in sailing, that's kind of how I got into foiling, is, I was like, I don't want to race anymore, I just want to go fast. And then I kind of ended up here. So, I think it would be, looking back on it, I wish I had a little bit better mental fortitude, as I said, but you live and you learn, and here I am today. So
I guess it's hard when you're so passionate about something, you put so much work in, and you know, sometimes you don't get it the first go and you go again, or you know, sometimes it's just not that time for you. But I think just enjoying it is something that is really important, no matter what level of sailing that you're doing. Enjoying it is the most important.
Yeah, absolutely.
There will still be hard days though.
Yeah, those are hard days.
Katja, we might go over to you now. I'm sure you've had some ups and downs in your sailing career, but Sail GP, what an amazing opportunity for any sailor, but especially female sailors at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm obviously super honored and humbled to be a part of Sail GP. It is a big opportunity for me and for you guys and for everyone sitting here, that we actually have a future in foiling professional sailing, and it should include women. Of course it should. I can only see that the sport is evolving the right direction when we are also there, and I think it brings in better diversity, better creativity, better dialogues and communication, and also a better show. I think it's like personally, when I'm watching sports, I want to watch sports with women included. So I believe that the spectators are also way happier. So, but it's a great opportunity, and I'm super happy to be here. But I also think, just going back to the question before, of the hardest time in my sport has been being a part of Sail GP. It is not easy, and we have to fight to be here and to like prove ourselves that we should be here. So it's also a difficult sail, I would say. But I don't know how we keep fighting to get stronger in this game is the way to do it. And also I hope that we can at least create some roads and some ways to do it here, so that when you guys join us, it will be way easier to be a part of Sail GP.
Lorraine, how has it been for you? You've sailed lots of different boats, lots of different teams as well. How do you find it here at Sail GP, and what are some of the challenges you've had across the different boats that you've sailed?
So as you said, I've sailed on a lot of different boats with most of the time on mixed teams. So I was already used to that before Sail GP. I think as you said before, like it's really hard to have opportunities as women sailors. So yeah, you have to fight all the time, and even though when you're involved in Sail GP, it's not done. So you still have to fight to find other opportunities, and I think it's I really hope that for you guys it's gonna be easier soon, because it's the way to go, and I think that's what we have to really have to work still on this direction, because there is some progress, but we can still do more and better.
And obviously a lot of the girls here today will be getting into foiling. I don't know if they're sailing mixed classes or by themselves, but do you think sailing mixed teams helps not only the women but also the men learn that we're all just sailors?
I think we are able to show them that we are equal, and in the end we are all on the same boat, and we have to do the job, so that doesn't matter if you're a female or a male, I think it's good that they see we're able, and to get used to have women on board and to deal with it, because it's not easy for them also when you're not used to it. So I think definitely we're going on the good way, and let's push to have more women on board.
Fighting the fight for sure. Annie, you're super busy. You've got another career as well. You've got 2 kids. How do you do it all?
Well, not well. No, no, I think
obviously pretty well.
When people say, before you have kids, and I'm sure a lot of you here have had kids, but it takes a village, and for me, that is absolutely true. Just to beef up my husband a little bit, he is the reason I'm able to. Also a sailor. Also, he was a 2-time Olympian in the 470 and NACRA, and so he gets it, which is amazing. But every decision I make, whether it's in my professional career or in this career, has a direct impact on him because we have kids. And so, you know, I am conscious of that in everything that I do and every step I take forward. It has a cascading impact on the rest of my life, which I think, you know, traditionally for quote unquote gender roles, if a man is in a career and takes a step forward, it often traditionally falls on the women to take care of the children. And I think having a supportive partner and being able to like push those boundaries forward as well has been a really big learning lesson for me. And it's hard. You know, we're all sitting up here being very candid and honest that it's not an easy path to take. You know, you're continuously trying to knock down doors and be a proof point of what's possible. But yeah, I'm constantly battling the stretching myself too thin, and I never want to be in a position that I'm doing lots of jobs good. I want to be in a position that I'm doing a few jobs perfectly. And so for me, I'm a yes person. I like to take a lot on. It gives me energy, but I do need to like take a step back sometimes and be like, okay, and you've got a bit on. So I don't know, being able to compartmentalize helps, but I'm trying my best.
Must help, like, kind of having a home event. Don't have to fly too far for this one.
That's very true. And my parents actually are here with the kids. So that's, once again, it takes a village. My parents are helping out. My husband's amazing. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky.
Loren, what sort of projects do you have coming up? Do you have anything else other than Sail GP that you're focusing on at the moment?
Yeah, actually, I'm also involved in the Women's America's Cup with the Swiss team. So yeah, lots happening soon. So yeah, it's hard to manage. Yeah, when you have to have more than one project to live. So yeah, not that easy, but yeah. I think, as you said, we are trying to do our best and to do it well when we are doing it. And when you're doing CGP, it's gonna bring me some knowledge for the cup, and the cup will bring me some knowledge for CGP. So it's win-win. So yeah, I'll try to send it to the cup.
Nice.
Against you, no?
Yeah, see you there. I think you have an advantage being with Lingy, but anyway, I think no matter what level of sailing you're at as well, or what your goals are, I think sailing different boats, like you sort of were saying, is really good, because you might learn one lesson sailing on one boat that you can take to the other, and vice versa, and different racing has different styles. But talking about trying to achieve big things, Katja, how do you sort of manage pressure, you know, high stakes situations? As a strategist, a lot of the time you've got to make decisions or give really good information at the right time. How do you manage that pressure?
I think a lot of it comes with trying it over and over again. So you only learn to perform under pressure when you having a lot of pressure on a lot of times. So I definitely got better at it. I don't even know
to get it right. You got to.
I don't even know where to start, but trying it out a lot of times. But I also do a lot of mental work. I do a lot of meditation to try and learn how to get your thoughts through your head without really recognizing them, or just trying to let them go. And actually, I use that on the water. So when I might feel some fear or some pressure or something, you know, you have a thought about points or things going through your head, but you have to let it go and then do how you should do. So in that way, that is a very good practice. Also visualization and manifesting how you want to do things on the water. We don't have much time to train on these boats. That's quite rare. Like normally I would go out and just practice it over and over again so I would know how to do it. But I cannot do that here. So visualizing it actually does half the work for you. And then at least it's a little bit easier when I go out.
Thinking about what's important in the moment rather than what it might end up being,
Exactly.
I think is a big one. Katja, also being a sailor, the ocean's our playground. We're pretty lucky. But what sort of environmental issues have you sort of seen out there in your experience, and how do you use your voice as a sailor to speak up about it?
Yeah, we do get quite a lot around as sailors. We travel a lot. You all do that as well. And it might be nice, clean water here, but when you go around, you see some really, really bad conditions somewhere. And then it's super nice that we have a impact league aside the CLGP league where we can actually do an impact for the environment as well. And my team, we are working a lot on taking initiatives that can help out a little bit and then can create the conversation that we need. And lately I know someone from my team was out diving around for seagrass. I haven't completely gotten into the project yet, but small initiatives where we educate, we learn, and we spread the word of what we can do to make a better world.
All the little things add up too.
Exactly.
We're going to go back to sailing and foiling now. Lorraine, what was it like for you to transition from sailing to foiling? I know some of you are probably pretty lucky. You're jumping off foiling boats nice and young, and it's probably a bit more natural. What was your transition like?
Yeah, that's true. I think like when I was younger, I don't even like imagine to be one day on a foiling boat. It was kind of inaccessible. So pretty good that now you have all of those small super foiling boats. And no, I think it went like a bit doing moth with my brothers at home, just like trying those small boats. And yeah, I think that was the first step, and they're actually pretty fun. So then you get a bit then it's easy to have a dream to do more. And then some opportunities in Switzerland with an academy, with some GC, some Flying Phantom, and then I did the trial with the CGP Swiss team, and here I am.
And Annie, what was it like for you from 470 to F50? A bit of a change? Yeah.
Very big change. Very big change. And it's funny because you do learn, I started foiling when I was 24. That was my first time ever hopping on a moth, and the first thing I did was break my nose. Like, first time. I ran over a plastic bag and like straight into the shroud and broke my nose. I was like, oh, that was a good start. But I would say for me, I had done all slow boat tactics, all and strategy as well. And so then hopping into, I basically had to unlearn all of that when racing with boundary sailing and fast boats, and what that means like strategically and where you want to position yourself and what information to provide Phil at the right time. And it's just so much more fast paced. So the transition was like fast and furious. And as we've all said, we don't have a lot of training time. So you're learning on the fly, and you're just trying to, do what you can to catch up and provide that information as needed.
Now, I'm going to open the floor to questions really soon, so start thinking of some. But before we go to that, I'm going to get each of you to tell us if you had any advice for those in the room that want to be in your position next season or the season after that or whenever, what would you tell them?
You start.
It can be small. It doesn't have to be huge. Little things that you can do today to get you where you want to be.
A lot of it has to do with connections, I guess. Obviously, you need a level. So go race as much as you can. Learn how to foil. Learn how to work with other people. Bigger boats where you learn the communication and how to be a good teammate and all of that. Super important. But then the next thing is to have the network and to let everyone know that you want to be a part of it. So don't be afraid to go and ask the big guys or the big girls to, hey, is there an opportunity? Do you race other boats? Like, get in there and get your name on the map so that we know that you want to join.
Yeah, a bit the same. Just sail as much as you can on many boats you can. You're gonna learn whatever you're doing. It's gonna, you can take any kind of lessons on any kind of boat to another one. So just do as much as you can.
And for me, learning from firsthand experience, take losses, take learnings from losses. So every time that you go out there and you make a mistake, that's a learning opportunity. So try to reframe that in your mind to continually get better and better as you go on.
I usually say you win or you learn, or sometimes you're lucky and you win and you learn. So that's one for me. I like that. Does anyone have any questions? This is an awesome opportunity. Yeah.
This is kind of a two-part two-part question. So the second question depends on the first one. Rumor is, has been for a while, that there's going to be a women's SailGP event, all women. That's a rumor. Have you heard that rumor? That's a yes.
The question for anyone tuning in is there going to be a women's team? That's the rumor.
A women's team, I hope so. I don't see why not. But the money is not there yet. So if we can find the money, we definitely have the sailors for the boat.
I think that's the second part of the question. How do we try to get that to happen?
We spread the word and we show how amazing women are and that there's no reason not to have a female boat.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Do you think there will be a female driver on one of the current boats anytime soon?
I believe in it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, like I think almost all of the women are driving on the exit of maneuvers. They are having more time during the training also as drivers. So I think it's just a matter of time, and yeah, no reason for no.
I probably can say more than you can, but I was going to say that how did all the men learn how to drive? They got given the wheel, so let's give one to a female. Another question? Yeah. Does someone else have one? Yeah.
How do you train for being on the F50? I know you don't have a lot of time to be actually on it and get the reps in. So do you sail like smaller foiling boats? What do you do in the gym? How do you prepare yourself?
Yeah, great question. So for me, I hopped in, I had my son, and then I hopped in right after, when he was 4 months old in Saint-Tropez. And how I prepared for that beforehand was there's a lot of technology that we have access to. So I was kind of learning on an app of, I would hop on the phone with Phil and kind of walk through race scenarios with him in an app. So using technology, because we don't have access to the boats on the water. And then in the gym, yeah, I'll let Katja answer that because we all know.
Yeah, I'm a lot in the gym, and you don't have to be that much in the gym. It's because I don't have kids, so I have time. But yeah, basically, actually, as the strategist on board, you don't need to be that physically sharp. Although I would say it helps you, right? It helps you focusing, it helps you taking decisions. So if the better shape, of course, the better sailor. But I love doing CrossFit. Because it makes you agile and it makes you ready for whatever thing you can do. And also, yes, the F50 is not physically hard, but if you need to go on a GC or other boats, ETF, whatever, that can give you training hours, you need to be very fit. So it's definitely beneficial to have the arms for it and the conditions for it.
Anyone else? Any question? Oh, yeah.
So a couple of us sail Ilka 6, so we're training with the boys a lot. How important in your sailing career was finding like female training groups and opportunities to kind of learn from each other as women?
Actually, the question is how important it is to find a group of training partners and whether it should be male or female. And I think it's very strong that you're already training with the male partners, the male ILCA sailors, because you gotta learn from each other and you gotta knowledge share, and it doesn't really matter if you are a guy or girl. So if you can already in a single sailing boat collaborate with the guys and the girls, I think that's strong. But for me and in my experience, I always like being in a female group. It's sometimes safer. I think we learn in a different way. We share our experiences in a different way. And therefore, I think it's super strong that you are a couple of girls. Right now, I'm very often the only girl or woman on my team. And then I kind of act like I'm one of the guys. I kind of just try and fit in and be guyish. And I don't think I learn that fast when I'm trying to do that. And it's way easier having just another girl on my side, because then we can kind of bring in our way of being. So definitely pull the girls with you.
Yeah.
How do you deal with jet lag?
Yeah.
We are not dealing. What? I mean, I think everyone has his own little tricks. I don't have much, but yeah, just trying to sleep when you can, and yeah, sometimes you have to deal with the fatigue, and that's part of the game. But you're also working in a team, so it's possible to say to the team that you're tired, and they have to maybe do a bit more job for you. It's part of the game to be able to talk and to say how you feel, and to get the help you need.
I have one more.
Yeah.
Your most memorable experience, like craziest F50 memory.
Saint-Tropez? No?
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. Sorry.
It
Jet
was
lag.
very windy there, I can confirm.
Yeah, so it was super windy. We had the smallest wing, and almost 30 knots, I think. And that was my first season, so kind of like 7 events or something like that. And we were like going really, 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 really fast. Which was a bit impressive at the beginning, but I think in the end of the day everyone was in one piece, so that was good. Good feeling to in the end see that you make it, and but for sure like impressive.
Who else likes those survival days where you just like finally get to shore and you're like, how did I do that? Anyone? What about you, Katja? What's your most memorable F50 moment?
I think for me it was in San Francisco a few years ago, where it was super windy as well, and we did a huge nosedive and ruined a lot of our tech on board, inclusive our microphones. So our communication system didn't work, meaning that you cannot hear each other sailing 80, 90, 100 kilometers per hour, trying to yell what the next maneuver is. That's impossible. So we ended up using hand signals, like tagging in 3 and stuff like that. And I had to sit in the middle of the boat communicating like, "Res, now you can walk to the other side," or like
the policeman when the traffic lights go down.
Exactly. Yeah, it was mental and definitely not a safe way of sailing, and I don't think it would be allowed nowadays. But we sailed 2 races with no communication, neither from the jury or the race committee. So that was a big one for me.
How about you, Annie?
Mine was in Christchurch this last.
Oh my
August.
god! Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm having a flashback.
Oh
On
yes.
the boat.
No, yeah, it was quite scary. We had about 3 crashes in the span of 2 minutes. First with you guys, yeah.
I wasn't on the boat.
Oh yeah, you were. Oh, well, if you were there, no, I'm just kidding. So then with the U.S. and then with lovely Tash. Oh, you weren't either. Oh man. But that one I had crossed, and the Aussies, we were within the boundary. Kiwis jibed, we jibed, and I was staring out of the maneuver, and I looked over my shoulder, and I pretty much had my life flash before my eyes, and it was terrifying. Yeah.
Tash, we might get you up here to tell us your favorite F50 moment. Come on. You can't just sit there the whole time. Come on. I know you love getting called up to talk. We can get you a seat. Yeah.
It's okay, I can
All right.
Well, I think my most memorable moment on the 50 was in San Francisco last season in the final. We won the final race, won the season, and it was pretty surreal. Like everyone, the preparation we went into that regatta, everyone was really focused and just needed to execute their job. the best they could. And we had so many discussions about how we all worked under pressure and what we can do to help each other out and what we think we're going to act like, because all of the others had been in the situation twice before and it was my first time. And so I remember thinking, I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go, but I think this is what's going to happen if I get stressed. So my best option was to just focus on my own job. And I remember coming across the reach to the finish line with Kiwis off the foils behind us, just thinking like, wow, I can't believe we pulled that off again. But yeah, it was surreal that whole day. I could probably replay it in my head so many times. But yeah, it's honestly an amazing feeling.
And while we've got you, have you got any advice? Obviously, you've come through a little bit younger than some of us, but coming through the like sort of learning on foiling boats, obviously transitioning from the FX to the foiling boats. For the girls here in the room that might want to be in your spot.
Yeah, well, I think I jumped on a foil for the first time on an IQ foil during lockdown at home. And I was pretty lucky to live close to the water, and I just really wanted to learn something new. And I think that's one of the key things for my whole career. I've figured out is just keep trying to learn, keep asking questions, because the moment you stop doing that, that's when you're probably going to stop progressing. So I jumped into the IQ foil, learned how to wing foil, and I was just obsessed with it. I loved the crashing, and I was just on this real steep learning curve, and it had been a long time since I'd been in that position. And yeah, I was pretty lucky to get a call up to join and trial with the guys in end of the season 2, I think it was. And yeah, just from there, I just keep asking as many questions as I can, because I love learning, and I think that's the biggest thing you can do. So whatever boat you sail on, whoever you meet, ask as much as you can, and no one will ever think you're that annoying. They always like people showing initiative, and so anyone that ever comes up and asks me questions, I love taking the time to help, because I've been lucky enough to have been helped by so many people, and yeah, just keep learning.
Thanks, Tash. Do we have any online questions? We've got one more in the room.
I've got one more. So you guys are obviously kind of at the pinnacle of your sport, super elite, and we've got a lot of people in the room who want to be in your seats. But if you weren't athletes at Sail GP, can you talk about some other roles that you might be interested in doing? So if you weren't actually on the boat, what are some other things and other opportunities at Sail GP that are kind of interesting?
Yeah, I think the league's actually quite interesting in the sense that, there's females that are involved at every level at, on the base themselves. So whether that's the tech team, the wing team, we call it the geek container, but there's lots of opportunities within the league as well. And whatever form you want to take in sailing, there is opportunities within the field. I know a lot of my friends actually from university who were sailors have gone into marine biology. But for me personally, I've kind of taken the path of my quote real job when I quit sailing was sports marketing, specifically for females. So I had just actually on Tuesday, I was helping run the ESPNW conference, Summit Canada, which took place in Toronto. So really, we announced the WNBA team in Toronto. We announced the NWSL, which is it's a super league for women coming to Canada. And that's kind of the way that I, outside of sailing, have invested my time.
I don't really have an outside of sailing, not yet actually, but yeah, I'm also involved in the shore side quite often in the project I'm working for. So yeah, I think it's a good way to understand the boat we are sailing on, and yeah, I think it makes me a better sailor. So that's why I'm doing it, and I really like it.
I think it's a very interesting question, and often I tell myself that I have to remember that there's a life outside sailing, so it's okay if I decide not to sail. But right now I am I'm Katja the sailor, and if I will give that up one day, it's gonna be hard to know what's on the other side.
I'm fully agreeing with that. Yeah, when I was doing Olympic sailing, I always thought that I was going to go to uni and study part-time or study on the side, because I was like, oh, when I stop Olympic sailing, I didn't really think there was anything else I could go to. And I actually am still studying part-time at uni very slowly, but the last couple of years I've really thrown myself into sailing as a career, because it can happen. Like now, it's much more publicly seen, and also the fact that we're in this and we're moving forward with it, it's really exciting. And so now we can all see sailing as a career. We don't have to have it as like a side stream or just like something we do as a hobby or an amateur sport. We're all out here, we're getting paid to go sailing, which is probably like a dream come true for I think all of us. And yeah, so it's really exciting to be able to say that you're a sailor. And I guess we'll all find out, or some of us will find out what we're going to do after. Hopefully not in the near future.
Well, I think the theme has really been like keep pushing no matter what level you're at, and always keep asking questions, keep trying things. Some of the ladies have to go sailing or go crane their boats in. So I'm going to wrap it up there so that they've got a little bit of time to eat frittatas with you all. It's not so often that you get to have breakfast with some champs. So make sure you ask them more questions. Thank you all for making the time. I know SailGP weekends are so hectic and busy. So thanks for coming and sharing some of your insights. I would like to acknowledge Gear Simonson for his generosity in making this event possible, as well as Tara McCauley, who has been very involved in bringing it all together. We did touch on sustainability. Don't forget to take your water bottle with you. We love reusable stuff here at SailGP. And make sure to enjoy the racing this weekend and tell all your friends, all your family how to tune in and watch your racing, because hopefully Halifax is going to put on a show. Thanks for joining us.